Hey you here for Skyrim lore? And let me just set the tone real quick, because this isn't gonna be your average surface level YouTube video. Welcome to the land of the dwarves. This beautiful city was once home to the Dwemer in this massive underground cavern known as Blackreach. Pants got fucked up in the fall. Now, if you're not familiar with the lore behind the Dwemer, you might have noticed I said the city was once home to the Dwemer, but all you can find around here anymore is Falmer walking around. If you want a deeper explanation of how the Falmer got here, go check out my video about the fall of the Snow Prince after you finish this one. But what I said near the end of that video caught a lot of y'all's attention. The Falmer marched to bring death and battle to the ancient Dwemer, only to find that their entire race had completely vanished.
Do it.
The million septum question that has been churning in the minds of Elder Scrolls fanatics for years. Where did the Dwemer go? This question has been heavily debated among the scholars of the Elder Scrolls, and in my opinion, this is one of the most interesting concepts I've ever heard of in any universe. Picture it. There was once a civilization of highly intelligent humanoids that built large, beautiful, brass-encrusted cities underground and in mountains. The sky was the limit until one day at the peak of their industrial evolution... Snap sound effect. I can't snap with these gloves on. Gone in the blink of an eye. So in today's story, I have heard your pleas. After learning about the fall of the Falmer, you wanted to know where their mortal enemies vanished to. And finally, I sucked it up, did some research, and I'm ready to deliver for you. So there's several theories on what happened to the Dwemer, and I'm gonna cover three that I have picked for three different reasons. One that is unlikely and borderline stupid, one that is supported by plenty of lore, and one that I think is just such an interesting concept, and I just can't wait to share this one with you, so please stick around. And I already know there's gonna be literal pages in the comment section from people correcting this or that. I just want to say I'm trying my best with this super deep lore. I'm always going into these videos blind so that it's a more friendly approach for newcomers who want to learn more lore, because I'm just writing these scripts as I learn about them. But if you're new here, we're learning this together, so you're not alone. We'll be scholars one day, so let's get started. So this first one is kind of just a shot in the dark and doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but we're gonna cover it anyway. There's a theory that after the disappearance of the dwarves, they became the ideal masters that watch over the soul cairn. This theory stems from the fact that most of the dwarven animatronics are powered by soul gems. That's pretty much the only connection between the two. And now the first major argument against this theory is that historically the ideal masters predate the disappearance of the Dwemer. And in addition to that, the ideal masters possess powers involving souls, but not time. But on the same page, people argue that the Dwemer could have used an Elder Scroll to transcend time and somehow become the ideal masters. This argument could be loosely possible because, as some of you might recognize the place behind me, this is actually the area you go during the main Skyrim questline in order to get your hands on the Dragon Elder Scroll, which was being safely encased all this time in a dwarven mechanism. They had access to an Elder Scroll. Who's to say they didn't use it? All right, so this is the big one, and there's a lot going on in it, so buckle up, and I'm just gonna try my best. Starting with explaining to you what the Heart of Lorkhan is. So the Heart of Lorkhan is essentially, as it sounds, the heart of the missing god Lorkhan. To explain who Lorkhan is would be another long video by itself, so for now, we're just gonna say he's the creator of Nirn, the planet that we all call home. It's stated in the ancient texts that following the creation of Nirn, Lorkhan's heart was stolen from him as punishment for creating the mortal plane. However, some myths claim that it was not a punishment. Legend also has it that several of the Adric gods and goddesses have tried to destroy the heart, but found it to be impossible. So it was cast down to Nirn, where it landed in Resdain, which formed the volcano that came to be known by the mortals as the Red Mountain. Then at some point during the First Era, the Dwemer that were native to Morrowind at the time discovered the Heart of Lorkhan while excavating under the Red Mountain. Once this discovery was made, a high-ranking Dwemer known as Kagranak, did I say that right? Kangaroo.
Kagranak.
Once this discovery was made, a high-ranking Dwemer known as Kagranak, who was known to be a brilliant mage crafter, engineer, and also an author who wrote his own theories on making a new god in his book Divine Metaphysics. I'm just gonna call him Kag for the rest of this section because his whole name is just bugging me trying to say it. So Kag had begun to study and test different ways to tap into the heart's power with hopes to find the answers to the secret of immortality. In order to safely tap into the power of the heart, he had to create 3 tools: a soul gem based dagger called Keening that you can find on a College of Winterhold quest in Skyrim, a hammer known as Sunder, and a pair of heavy dwarven gauntlets known as Wraithguard. To explain what each tool did as quickly as possible, the Wraithguard gauntlets were forged to protect the wearer from the unstable power and destruction of the heart. Keening was forged out of a soul gem and used to flay and focus the power that rises from the heart, and Sunder was forged and enchanted to strike the heart and produce the exact volume and quality of power needed. Now pay attention to this part. There was also a large mechanical golem constructed around this time known as the Numidium. Also known as the Brass God, this golem was not only meant to be a sort of god to the dwarves, having been created by the same man who literally wrote the book on making a new god, but it's also believed to have been created using the heart of Lorcan as its power source, and its purpose was to allow the Dwemer to transcend the mortal plane and achieve immortality by becoming one with the Numidium and essentially living inside of it. At least that's what I'm getting from this. I don't know about you, but living with who even knows how many people inside one big robot sounds like my own personal plane of oblivion. But I'm not in charge of that plane. I'm just suffering in it for eternity. So with all that knowledge I just threw at you rapid pace, here is the theory behind this section. Kag either somehow tapped into the heart of Lorcan and caused the entire Dwemer race's souls to be absorbed into the Numidium and everyone achieved immortality, or the Numidium backfired when he was tampering with the heart and caused the entire race to be wiped away from reality. Now, the whole neighborhood living in a big robot thing didn't make a whole lot of sense to me until I considered the fact that most, if not all, dwarven inventions like the spheres, spiders, and the goddamn no good ballistas are powered by a soul gem. And if this massive golem was powered by a massive soul gem, who's to say you couldn't fit an entire race in it? But there's actually a really sad end to this story if the Dwemer really did become one with the Numidium. After the disappearance of the dwarves, there is a bit of a divide between what happened to the Brass God. Some say it was destroyed after they disappeared, and others say it was swept away into another path of reality due to some pretty confusing shit called a dragon break. I'm not gonna get all into that because I want to stay on topic and I don't really even know where to start with trying to research that. From what my little noodle could put together, it's basically forks in reality breaking timelines, and dragons put them back together, whether it's been 10 years past in one timeline or 1,000 years in another. The moral of this video is that the Elder Scrolls universe is a fourth wall breaking, multiverse having, confusion causing craziness where nothing and everything is real, and I'm just trying my best to teach you some of the simpler stuff. Smash like. So with this theory that seems to be the most backed by lore and could be the true explanation of their disappearance, the dwarves either could have been wiped away from reality completely, absorbed within the Numidium, and then transported to another reality through the dragon break, or they were absorbed within the Numidium was then destroyed, and every Dwemer soul inside was left to rot in a brass prison for eternity. Not fun. If you're looking for a more meta answer, look no further. This one is not the most lore supported theory, but it's without a doubt my favorite one for its concept. There's another more popular theory being thrown around by players based on this quote from Vivek and Morrowind. Honestly, pause this and read that section about how he describes being a god. It's literally mind-blowing that this is just video game lore. But upon being asked about the Dwemer, Vivek will tell you he doesn't sense them in the mortal plane or beyond. They are gone. He goes on to say that if there was any sign of them, he wouldn't necessarily want to make contact with them, and finishes his statement by saying that his intuition tells him that they are gone from existence as they know it forever. The dwarven race once was, until it wasn't, leaving behind only their creations, entirely wiped away from the Elder Scrolls universe after the point of their disappearance. So the theory here is that after the dwarves disappeared, they became us, the player. Obviously, this one seems a little goofy because we think we know our world and we definitely know the Elder Scrolls universe. But maybe the idea is that when you boot up Skyrim, Morrowind, Daggerfall, even Arena,
I'm about to bust.
we are us, but now living through us is the Dwemer. Just think about it for a second. If there's one thing we know about the Dwemer, it's that they had a hunger for knowledge. And here you are, watching this video where I try to teach you about the Elder Scrolls universe. The Dwemer live through us, the die-hard, borderline obsessive fans of the Elder Scrolls, being above all gods of the universe, living in an entirely different reality from their own, with access to everything they could ever want to know about the world they left behind. So I think that's just about all there is left to say. We don't know for absolute certain where the Dwemer went, and I'm sure most of us can agree deep down that we don't want to know, because what fun is there in a solved mystery? Give me a in the comments so I know you made it this far. By the time you see this, I might be getting hammered with my friends to celebrate my birthday, so if you feel like making my night awesome, blow this video up and share it with anyone you can think would want to watch. And in return, you might get some horribly misspelled thank you replies to your comments on the video. Tell someone you love them, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Watch the skies.